Well, hello again. It's Rod with VPT Live TV. In this public segment tonight, by the way, if that doesn't make sense, if you're just starting to watch VPT Live TV, we have both a, my trade alert's going off in the back. We have a public segment, which you're watching right now, and then we have a premium version, sort of like HBO and Showtime versus basic cable. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, or if you're enjoying what you're hearing here on VPT Live, I just ask that you do that social sharing thing. Subscribe to the channel if you're seeing this on YouTube. Like, connect, tweet, whatever you like to do. Write it in skywriting if you are able to do that. All right. Tonight I want to talk a little bit about numbers and round numbers briefly. So the stock market is a numbers game, right? All kinds of numbers. The numbers that I tend to focus on, and the members of our community, is more technical. So just what are the numbers, not the numbers behind the numbers, just what is the share price, I guess is what I'm getting at. And then what are the large indices, what levels are those at as well. So tonight we closed the S&P at, everyone's talking about NASDAQ 5,000, 15-year historic high today. It took us 15 years to get back to a close above 5,000. We did that in the NASDAQ today. There's a nice big round number, 5,000. And then we have 2112 in the S&P. And that was dear to my heart because that's a great concept album from one of the best rock bands of all time, Rush. So 2112 we closed at, barely, 2112.89. So we almost screwed it up, but it was a 2112 close. And then of course you have the Dow at 18,000, and everyone looks at all those round numbers to 19,000, 20,000. But the number I want to talk about tonight is actually 85, a little kind of a weird number, and I'll mention as we jump in the charts, I'll tell you why. I'll give you a little hint. It's two mega cap stocks. I'll actually tell you. Facebook and Alibaba. Facebook reported earnings yesterday. Alibaba will report very soon. These are mega cap stocks. What is mega cap? Well, first of all, market cap. Quick trade glossary alert, trade term alert, trade glossary. You can find out more about our trade glossary where you find out about all the definitions and tips around trader talk in our trade glossary here at VPT Live, or by subscribing to the YouTube page, we'll make sure we get that out to you. Anyhow, market cap thrown around a lot. Most of you probably are familiar with that term, but it stands for market capitalization. It's simply the number of outstanding shares times the share price. That gets you the market cap. And Facebook and Alibaba happen to be mega caps because they are actually 100 billion or larger, but the share price is almost exactly the same. It's right now about 82 and a half. And the number I'm going to be talking about tonight is 85, key number in 85, because there's opportunities, I believe, being set up, short-term opportunities in both Alibaba and Facebook at around the 85 level. So let's jump into the charts, find out what I'm talking about. Thanks for tuning in to VPT Live TV. Okay, let's talk about 85 together. So on the left-hand side, we have Alibaba, and the right-hand side we have Facebook. And by the way, for all of you enthusiastic people that like to leave comments, I appreciate them. But the haters that talk about my technical analysis, look, the purpose of these videos is not to impress you with my technical analysis at all. Simply to focus on how simple it can be to just look at numbers and price structure. So that's what we're going to do here. All right, little sidebar. Okay, so on the left-hand side we have Alibaba, and the right-hand side we have Facebook. On the left, Alibaba has come down to this channel that we're forming here, and we'll do a little visual of it here. Let's just call it 80.5 to 88, and the number that I had talked about today was the importance of this 85 level right there. And Facebook a little different. It's in an uptrend here, and it is the 80s here to this 85 level there. So what has happened is Facebook has struggled at 85 several times. Not nearly as many tests as we've seen from Alibaba, and Alibaba has come down drastically from its IPO price. Well, priced I think at 68 and then ran up into the low hundreds, and then has come all the way down and formed this nice little channel here. And Facebook just reported their earnings yesterday, and after market close, and everyone was really bulled up. So who made the most amount of money on Facebook yesterday was the option sellers and the market makers, because there was a substantial theta crush today. All right, so let's get into how do we actually trade this and what does it mean. So we do have Alibaba's going to report earnings here sometime soon. I don't mind the potential earnings risk here because again, this is bumping around the bottom lower end of the channel. So let's go ahead and take a look in the options chain, and we'll start with Facebook actually. So here's what I want to point out. We're going to keep it very simple. So our technical analysis is pretty simple. Sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit. If I come back here, our first line in the sand is this swing low down there, a little bit above 80. If we're wrong, risk to 77, and then below there to 74. Any of these events can actually happen, and what we're going to do is play them with conditional order entry, and we're going to buy the at the money option at the time that happens. So we talk about that in other videos, so I'm not going to get into exactly how conditional orders work tonight, but essentially it's an if-then statement, folks. So if we see a trade down to the 81 levels, then we're going to buy the 81 calls at market at that particular time. We actually got the first alert right here at 82.5 today. So we had a conditional if 82.5, then we bought the 82.5 May calls at market. We'll buy the 81s at market, and then we'll potentially down here we buy the 79s. Now these would suffer at that point, and we make adjustments. These are all directional options. They're in a very, very liquid stock like Facebook, and they're very easy to get filled on. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like for Facebook. So you can see here today open interest of 22,000, 31,000 there. But let's just look at how many traded today. Almost 20,000 contracts traded in the 85 calls. We had a very, very active day between, let's call it $1 and $2.35. So that's a little under $100 a contract to $235 a contract. And today we were on this contract here, the 82.5 calls. We were very patient. We let the market get us in. We said if the Facebook comes down and touches 82.5, and again, Facebook put in about a $3 range today, so there's a lot of activity. If it comes down and touches 82.5, then we want to be buyers of those 82.5 calls. So we're in. We have another conditional order that will get us in at 81 if it gets weak tomorrow. Some people would call this a call stupid when you have this various strikes on the same side of the market. I don't think it's that stupid. We like it because we're letting the market come down and put us in those particular options. All right, so now let's take a look at Alibaba. Alibaba out in 85, same very similar, not as big open interest, but very respectable 1,000 contracts traded today, about 6,700 of open interest. You can see the 82.5s. In a lot of times, I'm not a big fan of the half strikes, but they seem to work out really well here. So 80 to 85 is going to be our range in Alibaba, and we'll take a look at it here as well. So down here, 80.5 is where we first got in. This is the first time we did this trade. We actually had an adverse excursion from an entry a little bit earlier, but the best trade was when we were very, very patient, and we literally, folks, had our entries, and this was about a month ago in late March, I believe, or mid part of March. Stock came down and almost broke 80, but the magic number was 80. We didn't know it was going to stop there, just knew that we wanted to be in a little bit ahead of 80, so we weren't a D for a T, excuse my language. We weren't a D for a T, we didn't put it right at 80. In fact, I don't think it actually printed a 70 handle. No, a 7 handle. It had to get down to 80.5. Right at 80.5, we bought the 80 calls, and those were a huge winner for us. Very, very big winner. In fact, I think I have it over here. Oh, there's the 85 image that I was working on. I think this is still on our homepage here. Yeah, there we go. Those are the 110 calls. So not that strike. But hey, it's good to know we made money up at 110 too. Okay, let's move that. Let's go over here. So same concept today. At 82.5 today in Alibaba, we bought the 82.5 calls, and we're looking for a move back to 85 where we would see that resistance again. So right now, net it all out, Alibaba and Facebook, two huge mega cap companies. Everyone knows them. Most folks know what they do. And just playing the numbers. The nice channel between 80 and 85. Facebook struggles at 85. Alibaba has been struggling down here for a lot longer. And we have very defined levels in a mega cap stock. And everyone's going to remember the prices that they got in at. And that helps us play around those particular levels. All right, we'll leave it there for now. This is Rod with VPT Live TV, reminding you always trade like you mean it. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content, and we will see you at the next VPT Live public broadcast. Thanks.